Factory footage is the body welding for the second-generation Golf and Jetta, vehicles that were produced from 1983 to 1992. During this production run, this generation was built in several plants, including Wolfsburg, Brussels, and after German reunification, Zwickau in former East Germany. The Golf Mk2 was Volkswagen's best-selling model during the 1980s, a testament to both its design and the quality of its construction. Once the welding was complete, the body in white, which was the term for the welded but unpainted car structure, was transported throughout the factory on orange automated guided vehicles. This early form of factory automation helped move the heavy structures efficiently between production areas. The paint shop was next. It was a crucial step that not only provided color, but also essential protection against corrosion. The painting process began with thorough cleaning and preparation, followed by the application of primer coats. The base coat provided the visible color, and popular choices for the second-generation Golf included Tornado Red, Alpine White, Helios Blue, and Oak Green. Most painting was handled by robots, though many smaller or complex surfaces still required the skilled touch of human painters. After the base coat, a clear coat was applied to protect the color and provide a glossy finish. The entire process required extreme cleanliness and precision. All painted bodies underwent thorough quality control processes, with inspectors checking for runs, drips, uneven application, or dust particles trapped in the finish. During this period, Japanese manufacturers like Toyota were revolutionizing the industry with their production systems, emphasizing lean manufacturing, just-in-time delivery, and continuous improvement. Their factories were becoming more efficient, less wasteful, and had better quality control than many Western competitors. Volkswagen was learning from these approaches and incorporating elements into their own production. After passing paint inspection, cars moved to the main assembly line, which is the heart of the production process. Each body's unique marking guided workers at each station, telling them exactly what equipment to install on each particular car. This system allowed different trim levels and options to be built on the same assembly line without confusion. Workers operated in teams, beginning with the installation of sound insulation before attaching various wiring brackets and dozens of other components. Interestingly, even today, more than 35 years later, these tasks still must be performed by human workers. The dexterity and adaptability required for these operations remain beyond the capabilities of automation. Meanwhile, on a separate assembly line, engines were being prepared. In 1989, Volkswagen manufactured most of its engines in dedicated plants, primarily the Salzgitter facility, which was the main site for engine production, along with Chemnitz later included after German reunification. Some engine work occurred in Wolfsburg, but final vehicle assembly typically used engines shipped from these specialized facilities. Engine assembly took place on dedicated lines with specific stations for crankshaft fitting, piston insertion, cylinder head installation, and valve timing. Workers used precision torque tools and gauges to ensure specifications were met exactly. Every engine underwent testing. Quality control was particularly vital because Volkswagen had suffered earlier in the 1980s from engine reliability concerns. But how did Volkswagen test engines before installation in 1989? Every engine got cold testing, where it was connected to test equipment and turned by external power to check proper assembly and component interaction. Selected engines from each production batch also got hot testing. They were actually started and run through various load conditions on test machines. During hot testing, technicians monitored performance things like power output, oil pressure, and emissions. Computerized systems checked for unusual sounds or vibrations. This two-part testing approach caught problems before engines were installed. This greatly reduced the chance of problems in customer vehicles. As engines were being completed, chassis assembly was taking place elsewhere in the factory. This work demanded physical strength and technical skill as workers fitted suspension components, brake systems, and steering mechanisms. The marriage of chassis and body was a critical moment in the assembly process. In offices adjacent to the factory floor, engineers were working with the first generation of computer-aided design systems to draw all the components of the car in electronic form. This digitalization was where the biggest advances would be made in coming decades, allowing for better development and improvement of future car generations. Many people might be surprised to learn just how much automation was already being used in car manufacturing back in the late 1980s. Automated assembly lines were playing a growing role in the production process, especially in areas requiring strength, precision, and repeatability. Industrial robots handled tasks like installing underbody shielding, positioning and securing both front and rear axles, and even mounting the entire engine and transmission unit into the chassis. While much of the assembly line still relied on human hands, the integration of robotics marked a major step toward modern high-tech car production. You can see this blend of human craftsmanship and emerging technology throughout the Wolfsburg factory. As assembly progressed, components like the distinctive front grille were installed. The Golf's grille featured black plastic horizontal slats, integrated cleanly between the headlights to give the front a sharp, functional look that would become iconic. Each addition brought the vehicle closer to completion. Eventually, each car received its first fill of petrol and was started for the first time. The distinctive purr of the engine signaled the transition from assembly project to functional automobile. Final quality control was designed to ensure that every vehicle leaving the factory met Volkswagen standards. It was the last checkpoint before a car was sent to dealers, so any errors caught here were vital to maintaining brand reputation. Workers visually examined the entire car exterior for paint imperfections, panel gaps and alignment, trim and badge positioning, and proper assembly of mirrors, lights, and handles. Interior inspections were equally thorough, covering seat and dashboard fitting, material defects or stitching issues, and switch and control layout consistency. Engine and control functions were tested from the driver's position, checking that everything operated as designed. In 1989, women made up a relatively small percentage of factory floor workers in the automotive industry, including at Volkswagen. Women were more commonly employed in quality control and inspection roles, where attention to detail was paramount. Many adjustments had to be made to fully assembled cars, such as headlight alignment, a critical safety feature that required precise calibration. The workplace culture at the time was still largely male-oriented, with limited accommodations for female workers in locker rooms, uniforms, and work schedules. This would gradually change in the coming decades as automotive manufacturing became more inclusive. Quality control teams included trained inspectors and line workers with specialized roles. Some were rotated from earlier stages of production for cross-checking, bringing their specific knowledge to the inspection process. Volkswagen began introducing internal quality circles in the late 1980s, inspired partly by Japanese practices, where workers suggested improvements in quality and efficiency. This was an early form of the continuous improvement philosophy that would later become standard. Pay at Volkswagen factories was competitive compared to other jobs in Germany. Factory work at Volkswagen was generally well compensated for blue-collar workers, with regular pay reviews negotiated between the union and the company. This contributed to worker loyalty and the multi-generational employment that characterized Volkswagen's workforce. After passing through the factory quality checks, cars were taken to a test track near the production hall. This test drive was the final verification that the vehicle met all performance and safety standards before being sent to dealerships. While many cars underwent thorough static checks like engine testing, brake system verification, and electrical inspections, the test drive evaluated real-world performance and handling. Beyond this visible production process, Volkswagen operated sophisticated crash test facilities at their headquarters in Wolfsburg. These test centers included long crash tracks, where vehicles could be accelerated using hydraulic or cable-driven systems and then impacted into solid barriers or other vehicles under tightly controlled